My name is Gaia Athena, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about A Column of Fire by Ken Follett. This is book 3 in the Kingsbridge series. I have previously read The Pillars of the Earth and World Without End. I've read both of these twice, loved them. So this is book 3. This is only really a series in that they all take place and involve characters from the town of Kingsbridge, but each story is like many years after the previous one, so it's more like the characters' ancestors and stuff like that. So it's not like you have to specifically read them in order, although like if you can and want to, sure, because Pillars of the Earth is amazing. Anyway, so this is historical fiction. This one starts in 1558, but books 1 and 2 are earlier. Book 4 is a prequel. Actually, Goodreads calls it book 0, but well, it's the newest one published. It's called The Evening and the Morning, and I have received my pre-order. I would show it to you, but it's downstairs because I'm going to read it in a few months with Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. She and I buddy read A Column of Fire together in June, and we also buddy read The Pillars of the Earth together. Was that February? And then I reread World Without End on my own. Anyway, so we buddy read this book together in June, and the nice thing is that this book had 30 chapters, and the not nice thing now is that my camera is like, my battery is empty. Okay, I'll be right back. So yeah, the nice thing about this book is that it had 30 chapters, and June has 30 days. So we read a chapter per day, which meant some chapters were longer than others, but I think it worked quite well. And despite my slump, I was able to read each chapter a day relatively easily. The writer has a very engaging writing style that just makes you interested in the characters. It just draws you in. Because historical fiction is not my favorite genre. Now this book in particular, this one, it's about various characters. It starts off being about Ned Willard and Marjorie Fitzgerald, who love each other, but they can't be together. But what plays a big role in this book is the Catholics versus Protestants in United Kingdom, England. So the town of Kingsbridge is in England, but this book also takes place in Paris and Spain. For some of it, so it's not just Kingsbridge. So we start 1558, and there are also some politics involved and war, and just reading to see how much of things are spoilers. We have Princess Elizabeth. Yeah, I am not as well versed in like all the English royalty. Personally, because being from the Netherlands, that was not something that I was taught in school. I was taught about the Catholics versus Protestants, and yeah, the English word is iconoclasm, but I have never heard anyone say that, so I don't know how it's pronounced. I hope it's correct. In Dutch we call it beeldenstorm, which happened in 1566. That is the one part of because that is I was taught about that in primary school. Primary school? Or was it secondary school? I was taught about that in school, and so I remember that the Netherlands was also more involved in that, although at the time the Netherlands wasn't called the Netherlands. But anyway, I wasn't taught as much about all the British royalty and their struggles, but I know a lot of the people who watch me, some of them know a lot more about that than I do. History is also not my best subject, so nor my favorite one, so yeah. Anyway, But yeah, this book, I really liked it. Really nice characters. Obviously, there are villains as well, which obviously I like less. Their characters, I mean. I'm not giving it full marks, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. One thing happened in it that I would have liked to have seen differently, but it happens later on in the book, so it's a spoiler. Some of the people in this book, so at the back it has a who is real in my edition. So it's also with Mary Tudor, Elizabeth Tudor, well, Sir Francis Drake. So some of the people in this book, side characters, none of the main characters, who have actually existed. So I thought that was a nice addition. So some of you may, I had heard of Sir Francis Drake as well, mainly because I've seen my partner, my boyfriend, play Uncharted, the video game, and Sir Francis Drake plays a role in that, or rather his legacy. But anyway, so we have multiple points of view in this book. There's quite a few characters in this book and this series, but yeah, even the scenes that were not as much my thing, there was, for example, some scenes with ships. The writer just manages to make me enjoy reading it. And well, so it's about the lives of these people, and yeah, so religion plays a big role in the book, which was also really interesting to see. So that each side you had people who believed in tolerance and people who believed in like that only theirs side. I guess they were more extreme, I guess. Hope you get what I'm trying to say. So Ned ends up working for when does that happen in the book? Somewhere earlier section of the book, Ned ends up working for Princess Elizabeth, and she prefers tolerance. She doesn't want people to be persecuted for what they believe, sort of thing. So and Ned really believes in tolerance, and then of course we have villains who don't believe in that. And yeah, so yeah, I can't quite give it full marks, but a 9 out of 10. Actually interesting that World Without End, so it's the book 2, the first time I read that I actually gave it a 9 out of 10, and I gave the Pillars of the Earth 10 out of 10. And when I reread Pillars of the Earth earlier this year in February, I also gave it 10 out of 10. And then I gave World Without End also a 10 out of 10 when I reread that on my own in April? Was it April? I think it was. So maybe if I reread this one, I don't know. And this is my copy that my dad bought for me when he was on a business trip in India some years ago. So even though this doesn't match the other two in size, I'm very grateful to him, because this book just came out then, I think, and I really wanted to read it. I know it's taken me a while, partially because I wanted to reread the first two books, and well, all three of them are big. So this book is 916 pages, my copy, which is big. But yeah, they're very enjoyable, very readable books, in my opinion. They are long, so there is that. But it didn't feel that way as much, really. It was very doable to read a chapter a day. Most of the chapters were not that long. I think there was one where there was quite a bit of a longer chapter, and that day I found that more difficult. But most of the time it wasn't that much to read. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed also buddy reading it with my friend Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. Do check out her channel if you don't know her. I'll leave a link in the video description down below. And yeah, our favourite character was Sylvie from this book. We didn't like Pierre, we didn't like Rollo. So yeah, I don't read historical fiction that much, and when I do, it's much more specific about, I guess, what I choose to read, what I like to read. But yeah, please leave a comment down below if you like, so then I know you watched my video, and leave a like if you want to. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. This was the last book that I finished in June. I finished it on June 30th. So one more video that I'm going to film, but I'm going to have lunch first. And that's going to talk, in that video I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that happened in June, other than my reading slump, that may not quite have helped my reading, to some stuff I want to talk about. And I was also going to show you a couple of statistics of like how many books I read in June and how it compares to the earlier months. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!